First question is from Noah K35. What are the best exercises to build abs out? I've tried hanging leg raises, but I can't get my abs to stick out more.
Okay, so building the muscles of the abs,
get them bricks,
is the same as you would approach building any muscle in your body. So the best rep ranges to build muscle for all muscles is between 1 heavy rep all the way up to maybe 20 repetitions. Those are all good muscle building ranges. Now with the abs, I would say you probably wouldn't do very well with really, really low reps because it's so hard to have perfect form. But lower reps are okay. I'm talking about like you don't want to do like a single, like 1 or 2 reps, but you can do 5, 6 heavy resistance reps with your abs, and of course you can get up to 20. The key is to use good resistance, and here's the other key. Train your abs in a full range of motion. Most people don't do this. They work their abs, but the abs tend to be stabilizers or tend to be kind of play second fiddle. So using the example of the hanging leg raises, I have yet to see, I've probably seen in my entire career working in gyms, 5 people do a hanging leg raise properly.
Yeah.
Most people just bend, they bend at the hips, the legs come up or the knees come up, and the abs are stabilizing, but the muscles that are doing the movement, full range, are the hip flexors. The ab function is to bring the pelvis closer to the rib cage or the rib cage closer to the pelvis. So it's literally curling your low back or curling your hips up. So when you do a leg raise, it's not just lifting the legs; it's curling the hips.
I hate having this.
The tail
I
bone.
hate having this conversation on the podcast.
I know,
The abs are
visual.
no, it is. The abs are one of the hardest things to try and articulate on this show. Like it's something that visually I have to have something to be able to show a client or actually move their body to get them to understand, because it's arguably probably one of the, I don't know, most commonly done wrong exercise.
Practiced.
Right. Just because even when you have poor form, you look like you're kind of doing it right.
And you feel it.
Yeah,
You still feel it.
exactly. And you still feel it because the abs are still, they're working in that. If you do a hip flexor sit-up, right, you use mostly your hip flexors, abs still work. They're at least stabilizing at the bare minimum. Maybe you get a little bit of a contraction in it, and you look like you're doing it right. So it's really hard to try and explain to somebody on a podcast like how to do this well. But you know, in my experience, when you have somebody who wants to build their abs, one of the best things to do is that low, heavy rep range, mostly because nobody does it. The novelty of it is the main reason why I think it's the best. But the drawback is that most people already don't know how to connect to the abs very well and do a basic sit-up with using all of their abs, much less, okay, now I'm going to recommend to these people they should go do heavy
that's
5.
why we caution like just all of a sudden going to loading it and doing like a lower rep range if you haven't actually done the work of getting that kind of activation out of your abs. I'm trying to think, like, I think the only one I can think of that probably, like, for me has always made the most sense to load is like a decline sit-up.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Load is all relative. You take somebody who doesn't know how to really work their abs properly, you have them do a physio ball crunch, and they're doing low reps.
Or a perfect spit up.
Yeah,
sit up. A perfect sit up.
You're in dad mode.
Yeah.
Look, Jesse's bragging about his son. He's like, hey guys, look, I know kids spit up. My kid does the perfect spit up.
3 more.
It is low reps because they don't have the strength to do more than 6 or 7. I have yet to have a new person put on a physio ball, have them do a proper crunch the right way with full extension, full contraction.
Try this, and here's the best visual I think I could give that most people hopefully can understand is, lie completely straight out, flat on your back, and try and sit your body, your torso up. But as you're trying to think of your spine and the vertebrae and how they look, right? Have everyone seen a skeleton before? Think of the vertebrae, and you're trying to roll up each individual vertebrae, slow and controlled.
Imagine you're a piece of paper.
What do they call it? The perfect sit-up?
Yeah, perfect sit-up. But try doing 5 of those.
Yeah.
Try
doing 1.
Right. That extreme. You're right. You're not even going to be able to probably do 1 perfect. So that's a great way of, that would be technically low rep, heavy loading, because you can't even probably do 1 or 2 of those really well. And a way to assist yourself is you take a rubber band around like a like
You
the
can put
squat
it around your feet even.
Yeah, squat rack, or even your feet, right? And then you use the rubber band to help assist you in that perfect articulation of the spine rolling up. Man, work on that really well, and low reps, slow and control, and then slowly.
That's a great video. I don't think we've done that.
We did.
With the rubber band assistant?
I don't know if
I don't think so.
I don't know if I've done one with the rubber band assist, but I know we've done.
We have a
one.
lot of ab videos
We do.
On the YouTube channel, so we'll make sure to attach some of them in the show notes that demonstrate kind of what we're talking about. I went through this. I remember. I mean, I'd been working out for years until I figured this out, and I remember I got real lean. I was supposed to go on a vacation somewhere. I got really lean, and I got my body fat down to like 9 or 8%. And you could see my abs when I'd flex them. So you could see like, oh, he's got, flat midsection. He's got nice abs. But when I didn't flex them, they weren't visible. And I was always jealous of the guys that had the abs that just always showed. They didn't even have to flex. Their abs just stuck out. So I thought, God, do I have to get that much leaner? Do I have to get that much more shredded? And I was reading some, muscle magazines, or I think I was reading an old bodybuilding book, and in there they were talking about building the abs so that they showed more at higher body fat percentages. And I thought, well, that makes perfect sense, because I know when I develop my quads or my chest or my back, I don't have to necessarily get leaner. It's more visible because there's more muscle. So I thought, I'm going to try to build my abs. And so that's exactly what I did. And I always thought I didn't have a great midsection. I always thought that's just one of my weaknesses. So I started training this way. I started to slow my reps down. I focused on lumbar extension and flexion.
Well,
so
isn't this what inspired you to write the No
BS six pack?
Right.
Yep, absolutely. And I did it, and within 6 months, no joke, I went from the guy who had abs that weren't really visible to they built out so much. If I wore a tight T-shirt, you could see them through my T-shirt. And it was all because I actually started getting pumps on my abs. I would work them out and feel a pump in them like you do with your biceps. They're muscles just like any other muscle in your body. You have to train them in a similar way. That means you're not doing 100 reps. You're not just going real fast, jerky motion. You're not doing weird light movements. You are using resistance. That may mean that you're not using external resistance, but what I mean by that is pick hard exercises, do them slow, full extension, full squeeze and contraction. Get the rib cage close to the pelvis. Squeeze that, then extend back. Think of it this way. It's like when you're standing straight up, can you take your pelvis and tuck it and stick your butt out? So every time you tuck your tailbone, that's your abs contracting. Every time you stick your butt out, that's your abs lengthening. That's what the abs do. The abs don't bring the legs up to your chest.